Alright, welcome to my tour of my 2017 Winter Village. This set is a combination of official LEGO sets and some custom builds, and then some that I've kind of modified sort of in between custom and official, I guess would be the best way to put that. So along the outside, which I'm going to turn off because it's kind of loud and a little bit annoying, is the Winter Train set. That was from last year. Just goes in a little bit larger loop than what actually came with the set itself. This whole thing is sitting on a big table, so the track is as large as I can make it. In fact, you can see it actually is hanging off by about an inch, and that's true on both sides. So let me turn off the train just to make that a little bit quieter, and then I'll give you a quick tour of the rest of the village. So let's start on the far left here, as I'm looking at it. And down, sort of in the front, we have a child playing with his robot toy. That's one of those micro toy builds from one of the many Christmas sets, which I happen to like that one quite a bit. It's more, I don't know, evocative than many of the other custom builds. And then in the back, or a little bit further behind, you can see a boy who has his snowball launcher. I think this actually maybe came with one of the Christmas advent calendars. And then, sort of along the side there, this is the reintroduced toy shop. This is not the original one, but it is an actual LEGO set. It does have the light, except I can't find it without looking. But anyways, it does have the light in the back. Here it is. So you can kind of see that through the window there a little bit. Puts it off and on. I have this big lamp here that kind of blocks that, but that way you can see the rest of the village. There's a little workshop back, a little shed back in the back corner there because nothing else really fit. And then swinging towards the middle, we have the winter carousel. This was part of the marketplace set that was released a few years ago now. And of course it does move, and the horses rock back and forth, and it's quite a nice build, and I would recommend picking that up if you haven't already, if you like this kind of thing. In the front here, I made a little grove of trees, including a couple of decorated trees. We've got some carolers singing. We've got a guy putting the finishing touches on his snowman, and there's one of the runaway reindeer, and the elf is trying to coax him back. In the front, we have what is basically my train station. Now I don't have the newest train station that was just released, so I just made a quick custom little train station stop here. You can see the LEGO City sort of, that's actually just a stickered piece from, I forget which set that actually came in, maybe the other train station set for LEGO City, even I don't remember now. And then in the back here, it's a very simple, basically just have a guy, he's got some tickets to give people, has a wreath on top, a little bit of snow on the roof, and if you swing around to the side here, you can see there's some windows, there's sort of an arched element there, and there's, in the side there are a couple of children mailing letters to Santa Claus at the post mailbox there. And then we've got a dude up front. This is kind of the main entrance to the town square. So you can see we've got a guy up front who's very excited about his loaf of bread. And if we sort of take almost a drone's view of the town square, this is where I spent the most time doing custom building. This is on one very large gray base plate, which you can't actually see any of the gray on, because I've layered it in such a way to try to add a little bit of depth, given my fairly limited number of pieces that I actually had available for this project. But you can see there are some custom bits here. There are some official LEGO bits here, and I think putting them all together, it made for a fairly solid presentation. We've got the largest Christmas tree in the town. I put some of the gifts out around it, which actually doesn't really make any sense if you think about it, but it certainly makes it more festive. And then in the back, we've got a ice rink for my hockey players, and we have the All right, so it's Christmas time. I had to just take a quick second break because the UPS guy just came. But where I was right here. I was at the ice rink with my hockey players. I wanted to make it not symmetrical, and I wanted to try to make it a little bit more natural looking so you can kind of see that while the goals are evenly spaced, the sort of skating area is definitely not just a square or whatever. So I was pretty happy with how that turned out for my first attempt. Another official Lego, I don't know, this is the cottage or something in the back. That also lights up, but you can't really tell except from the back, so there's really no point in trying to get the camera back there. We got Santa's Workshop over here. That was one of the Winter Village sets from a few years ago. I like the build, but I actually think it doesn't quite go with the rest of the village. So I need to figure something out maybe to do differently with that space next year. But for this year, that's what I have. And then a couple of other small things. And this was, I think, a freebie Lego set from maybe a year or two ago, the gingerbread house, which, I don't know, I just like how it looks. So I left that on there. And then I do have a couple small trains there. Presumably those would be like little kid rides for the town park. And then finally, over here in the corner, it's hard to get a good view of it, we've got a sort of eating area for all the food stands. And then these guys came in one of the advent calendars. So I've got my fireman band playing guitar, singing, playing trumpet, got a speaker, a little makeshift stage there. Got some spots for people to enjoy some pies and hot chocolate and coffee and things like that while they listen to the band play. And so, yeah, that's my Winter Village for 2017. It's definitely very busy looking. It's pretty cramped. You can see I threw in a whole lot of extra of the pine trees. I have a soft spot in my heart for those, so I've kind of been buying them and putting them up. I don't think I actually showed. This was the Christmas tree stand. It's got 3 trees there, a decorated tree in the back, and the guy ready to take your money. So I built that into the sort of large town square here. So that's my Winter Village for 2017, and I definitely thank you for checking it out, and I'll have more soon, so keep checking back to the channel. Thanks, and happy holidays.